Hey everybody, welcome to another episode of Table Talk. I'm your host, Jake Combs, and tonight we're going to be looking at the new edition of Infinity, as well as the special items that you can get while you can still pre-order. Pre-orders are still going on until the 30th of this month, and then I believe that's when they start shipping, if I remember correctly. Or the 30th is when the actual releases, and you can start picking these up in stores if you didn't pre-order it. So we have the actual N4 rulebook. We have the Starmada action pack with some really bitchin' models. And when you pre-order it right now, and then do both, you get Octavia Grimsdotir. I'm probably butchering that. It's an icebreaker harpooner. And then also for Aristea, Shona Corano, Swordmaster. It's an event exclusive model. I believe that event was specifically for like Gen Con, which was canceled this year, and so they were putting it in with this pre-order. I'll have to do a little bit of research to confirm that, but that's what I remember reading before. But we're just going to get started. We're going to look at the Swordmaster first. Now, this is the first time I've ever actually looked at one of the variant models. I believe the original version of her is one of the expansions, not from the original box set. And each section has a quality control number showing that they have been inspected. Now, from what I've heard, Corvus Belli traditionally does a great job of not making mistakes in their packages, and the fact that they're always listing the quality control numbers, showing that they actually are being inspected, is a testament to why that is. All right, so we have that single character card. It's been a while since I played the game, so I don't remember the purpose of that one. But we have the 4 action cards. It looks like each one is a different language. She's basically got 3 abilities: broadsword, hit the blade, and defense at a distance. And now, pictures I have seen of the model assembled look fantastic. So I'm expecting the same from the quality of model itself. Now, one thing I've always liked about Corvus Belli is their attention to detail, and the fact that their games require so few models to play with. Okay, so we have basically 3 main pieces. We have the main body, and looks like actually can't quite tell what's going on here. I'm going to have to look at an image of it. Oh, these are legs. That's what's going on. And now the one thing I don't like is that the box itself does not have a assembly guide, which will make this much easier to figure out. But the armor itself, heavily detailed. And the models themselves, there is a little bit of flash that will need to be trimmed off, but high detail, great quality. The metal feels nice and stiff. It doesn't feel like it's going to bend or give. So you should have a very sturdy looking model. It's already got a little bit of kind of joins that you're going to use, so would limit the need for pinning, or minimize it anyway, but I still recommend doing it, just because with metal models you want that extra reinforcement. And then this is her holding the oh, I see it, what it is. This is actually part of the base, and then holding it like that. And so it's basically holding her foot in place. Now the question, I'm gonna have to do a little bit of research on this. Now either I'm missing her body, or you actually need to have the original model in order to use these. So I'm gonna definitely reach out and get some confirmation on that, and then I will let you guys know in a future video what we find out. All right, so now I'm gonna go ahead and open up the N4 exclusive miniature, which you can only get by pre-ordering. The full color card of the model definitely helps with seeing how the model should be put together. It looks like she's in just a couple pieces. We have the two arms and then the main body. Now, while I really enjoy the fact that everything lines up very well, it doesn't give you much wiggle room to customize it a little bit further, so that way you have a more unique pose. But it is a fantastic looking model, great detail, and their example painted up just looks fantastic. Oops. I hate when I tear a box. Alright, so first thing we have is an add inserts for Aristea, the Starmada Unity rulebook, okay, so Starmada is actually from a different board game, not done by Corvus Belli, but I guess they've worked together to create the Starmada action pack for use in Infinity. Now, one thing that really surprises me is how deep the box is, and you have a tray that basically just fills most of that up with air. You have a couple baggies in each section for the model pieces. Each one's individually inspected, and again, tons of detail. Definitely looking forward to building and painting the bike. And Corvus Belli has always had amazing looking miniatures. From what I understand, the game is a lot of fun to play. I haven't played it since the very first game, and my memories of it are very hazy. So I will have to kind of relearn how to play because it's been so long. And with most of my gaming experience being other titles, it's hard to keep those rules in mind and remember how good it is to play. But everyone I know that plays this, that also plays, Warhammer and things like that, every single one of them absolutely loves it. And that is really difficult to say when it comes to miniature games, because you almost always know that one person or those couple people that really hate it. And the only complaint I've heard about this game is that the rules are meant for a small force, not a huge army like what you'd have in Warhammer 40k. And that doing it, the monotony of all the dice rolls and the abilities and such, those are so tedious that it makes the game less enjoyable. But when you play the smaller forces like it's intended, it's one of the best games for skirmish type warfare out there, from what everyone tells me. So definitely looking forward to give it another try and kind of get back into the swing of things. Now, one thing I was kind of expecting when this was first announced was that with their other releases, a lot of them have like a full terrain set and multiple armies fighting each other in the box. I was kind of surprised to learn that it's only the one force that you're getting. So I like that the rule books come in a nice thick cardboard case, and then open them up. I really like the kind of the bookmarker tabs, and you got it on each side, so that way, depending on where you are in the book, you can easily fold it over. That way you don't lose your place without having to kind of lose your bookmark in this huge book. Now, taking a quick glance through it, I really like the full color, the fact that each section is very clearly defined, and it's easier to keep those things sorted instead of risking them kind of getting lost in the details of something else. And then the core book, I believe this is going to be more of the lore and about all of the different worlds and forces, and just doing a quick skim, does look to be the case. And it is also filled with some fabulous full color images of the models, and to give you more background on them and the worlds themselves. So definitely good to have. Now, the core book itself clearly not required for the game, but for someone like myself that is still very, very green when it comes to the world, this type of thing goes a long way, because if you just spend some time reading it, you're going to learn so much about their universe that it's going to suck you right in. So when you start playing, you're much more invested. It's not just moving your miniature here and there. It's you're caring about the plight of that force and what they stand for, and of course you want your models to look great, and so all that gets tied into it. But when you invest yourself into the lore, it makes for a much bigger and better game. And so I really like that they have the lore book and the rule book as two separate entities, where like Games Workshop with 9th edition for Warhammer 40k, it was one thick book. And I love that everything's all self-contained in that one book. You have all the lore for the main things, and you have the rules in there as well. But you don't need to carry the lore with you everywhere you go when you go to play different games. And so I like that they have this separated out, so that way when you go to somewhere to play a game and you want to bring your rule book for reference, you don't have to bring the lore book, just the rule book. And so it means one less thing to carry, less weight on your back, in your arms, whatever. And so it's much better in that regard. But I love the artwork. I love the look of the minis, the detail. Looking forward to building them and getting them played, so that way we can check them out. And I love the look of the Starmada Force themselves. I mean, these are some badass looking models and look like they're gonna be a lot of fun to paint. So definitely looking forward to that. But that's it for tonight. Thank you guys for watching. Just as a reminder, make sure you are supporting your friendly local gaming stores. They definitely need some attention, especially in these crazy times. I know that Games U, our friends and sponsors, they are still trying to work out the kinks of getting their gaming tables reopened. But with COVID, still being as crazy it is difficult for them to be able to justify risking their employees and their patrons just for people to be able to get a game in, where those same people could get those games in at their house or something like that. So those game tables are not required, but they're still trying to figure out how to make it work. And I did see that they were playtesting it recently as well, and trying to kind of work out the kinks to get things situated to where they were happy with it and felt that the risk was minimal. So kudos to those guys for at least trying to keep everybody safe while also making an enjoyable experience. But again, that's it for tonight. Thank you guys for watching. I'll catch you all next week, where we will actually be doing some big Games Workshop unboxings. We have officially gotten the word that we can unbox the Blitz Bowl Season 2, the other 2 games that came with it, and then we might have some other stuff as well for you next week too. So again, that's it for tonight. Thank you for watching. I'll catch you next week.